All right, let's try that again. Last day of command training today. I'm recording from the Hillsborough training room. We're going to talk about the agent sites, the KW app, and the Kelle app today. Uh, yeah, this is sort of the advanced class. So we're going to talk about a bunch of different concepts we talked about in the week. So if I go by something kind of quick here, you can always find more resource, reach out to me. But I'm going to try to not dwell on some of the previous lessons so that we can keep talking about how to use the website well, how to use the app properly, and all of that. So here we are in command. We all know how to log into command at this point. agent.kw.com is your username and password. And you can see all the applets from the home page here coming down. And we're going to go and focus on this last one at the bottom here, the consumer tab. All right, so this is what you'll see if you come in. It can be a little bit, it's very sort of the bare bones. There's not a lot of direction here. You know, you've got these things that look like pages over here, you know, landing pages, guide builder, what is all that stuff, site app settings as opposed to configure your site. That sounds kind of similar, you know. So let's, how we make up and down of that. So I'm going to take the opportunity to go back to my tech support and training page here. Remember, if you go to kwcentral.com, take you to the top page of that, kwcentral.com. So all I got to do is go over to agent resources, tech support and training. That'll bring you right back to the page we're just looking at. So you can get in touch with me, email, phone. You can schedule an appointment here really easily. Just click that. And it'll bring you here, some instructions. You can pick whichever day works for you. Click that, pick whichever time works for you. You can confirm it. I'll get an email. You'll get an email. I'll go on my calendar. I'll know exactly what's going on. You don't even have to ask if you don't want to. I'll just know that something's going on. If you need help finding locations, if you don't know where Hillsborough is, that's where I am today. You click on the locations here. That will take you to this page. It's also good to note that if you're in the agent resources and you go to location and contact information, it's going to take you to the exact same page. You got all these maps here, so if you're on your phone, you can click them, and that'll start, you know, Google Maps or navigation, and you can just set that to go from there. And then we have our contact information down here. All the people that work at the Market Center. As it changes, I keep this updated so you can rely on this information and what everybody does and how to get in touch with everybody. Go ahead and put my phone on mute. Okay, so we'll close that up. Everybody has seen me click around to get the different KW Central logos, command login, my KW. We've done that all week long. So it's all still here. You can see any of the previous videos about that. Let's go to the KW answers. I definitely want to take time to highlight that every time you click in the subject box, whatever it is that you're looking to learn about. So today we're going to learn about the agent site. That is here, setting up your agent site. So always look for those keywords like setting up, getting started with, you know, workflow, that kind of stuff will give you sort of that beginner, how do we get started with something? And then you can click that. If you can't find any of the topics that you're looking for, but you do see something like set up your site, you can always check over here on the side. That might kind of help you dial in your topics. Scroll down and just give you an example of, my goodness, this is not like this roll today. We'll do it this way. And you can see, you know, there's links to other things if you're looking for more specific information, you know, save searches and stuff like that as an example here. We'll talk about that some today. So it's just a great way. So if you can't find your exact topic, you know, find the, you know, getting started with one that might help guide you towards, you know, maybe you don't know the exact keyword of what you're asking, but it'll kind of guide you in there. Just have to be real careful with that scroll wheel today. All right, so we're back in command. We're on the consumer tab down here. Remember, you can click that square to see all the ones on your homepage. Then just click consumer. That'll take us here. And this is where we're working. We're going to be working on agent sites first. We're going to talk about the difference between a landing page and an agent site page. We're going to make a page right here so you can see what that is all about. And we're going to talk about the app and the Kelle app just a little bit. So here, it can be a little bit misleading because you got these pages. So it might be reasonable to conclude that you can create a page, put it in this list, and that's what your website will be organized by. It's not quite the case. It's a little bit more like the designs where you create a design, you bring it into your save section, and then you have these designs that you can work with. So if you create an email template or a beautiful virtual business card or something, you put it in there and it's not really doing anything but waiting for you there to be used for something. You take it from that spot, put it in an email or send it out in a text message or whatever it's going to be. Not so different here. So you've got these designed web pages. You can see that these are active because the eye is blue, so you can preview them here. If we made one and put it on this list, it wouldn't necessarily have that eye, blue as though this is a live site. It would just be sort of a design here for you to use, for you to apply to your site, which we do in another place. So let's go through the whole process real fast and we'll go back to the beginning and we'll go through each step real slow so you can kind of keep, where are we headed, where are we now kind of a thing. So let's go over to not configure your site. That's a trick. Site nav settings. All right, so now we're in sort of the consumer settings, how can we set up the different aspects of our site? Some things are more modifiable than others. This is the top page one. And then we're going to go over here to add site pages because that's sort of what we were looking at before. Now this is the label actually on the nav bar on our website. So I'll take a second here and we'll go to my website so we can I can show you what I mean by all these things. Can't really see the screen so well, so I apologize for any typos as I go today. I'm using a projector screen, so it's not as crisp as I'm used to. I'm doing my best. Sure, ignoring. All right, so this is my website, sort of repurposed as a tech thing, and it'll always be relevant if anybody wants to use this as a resource. Nothing on here will be incorrect, but I'm not going to really necessarily keep it updated. I'm going to use that tech support page we saw at the beginning of the presentation, but all of this stuff will always be the same. You can contact me here. The places that are going to stay the same. Helpful links are all the same. About me is the same. So none of this stuff will ever get dated because I'm using that quote unquote evergreen content that we all talked about. So it's going to be stuff that doesn't go stale, get old. Keep that in mind when you're designing anything that's just going to be out there hanging out. Done that here. So I'm never going to say something like I think the example I always give is over time, but there's always a way to think about it. So I'm never going to say I've been the market center tech trainer for 4 months, or because then I'll have to come back next month and say 5 months and then 6 months. And I'm not going to keep up on that. I'm going to eventually forget. So I'm going to say I've been the market center tech trainer since, when was it? June? I think June. I don't know. But keep that in mind as we kind of go forward. But the reason we're here is to look at this nav bar. We can see about me, helpful links, market center or market business training center, addresses and phone numbers. So let's take a look and compare that to over here, right? That's the exact same thing here. Now what it isn't is if we go to top page, you'll notice that it says, market business training center info. That's not what it says here though. It's a different title. So this is just the name of the design that I've created over here. Created a page, it's hanging out. Right now it's live. So I always use sort of the comparison that it's sort of like slides in a projector. Over here are your slides. You're creating these slides. You're going to make a really pretty picture. It's interactive. It's linked to a beautiful web page, but it's not doing anything. It's just a slide hanging out in your slide box. And if you actually want to make it a web page the way that you would think of it, you got to put it in a projector, project it on the internet. So that's sort of what's happening over here. You go to site nav settings. You go to agent site pages. And you can then use this, you can think of it as a projector. You're going to add a page. I'm going to add a slide to this projector. If I don't have something to add here, would I'll just put another one, home without me purpose, continue. And it just says new page, right? So if I save that, I pick the home without me purpose slide, you can think of it as, in keeping with the metaphor, my personal metaphor. I don't think you'll be able to Google that necessarily. Now I've saved that. So right now, you'll notice that it's not there, right? Because I haven't refreshed this website yet. So it doesn't know to look for it. It's just giving me, whatever version I loaded up. So let's load up a new version. We'll hit refresh. Now when that comes back around, you should see on the nav bar, this thing that says new page, right? Well, it doesn't say about me, it doesn't say purpose, it says new page because, again, home about me purpose is the name of the slide, but it's not the name of the page. So I can go over here and change this to bunnies. This doesn't like bunnies. I don't think that's spelled right because it's got that squiggly. I can't read it because it's a combination of me needing glasses and this being a projector screen. So somebody can tell me what that says if you want. We're going to save it no matter what it says. We'll go back to the page. And again, not there yet. It says new page. We got to load up the fresh copy of the page to see it. Fresh copies here. Let's go over to the nav bar. Now it says bunnies, I think. I don't know. It starts with a B. It's a little blurry. But you can see what I'm getting at. This is how you add things to the nav bar. Okay, those are the steps that you have to go through. So let's move over here. I don't want this to say that, or maybe I want this in a different spot. You can grab those 6 dots, just like we talked about, and you can rearrange it all however you like, and that's going to correspond with how it's arranged in the nav bar. I don't want this, so I'm going to get rid of it. So I'm going to click this. I'm going to click these 3 dots. I'm going to say delete, and it's going to say something like, are you sure? And I'm going to say yep. And now it's still going to be there, but look what happens if I click it, right? Because it's going to load up a fresh thing. Oh, actually, look, it still takes you there. Because I guess it still technically exists. Or maybe it's because I didn't see it. Let's see. All right, so we'll go home. Still say funny. Refresh. Now it's gone. So you can kind of see what you have to do to see a change. Not necessarily navigation. It's not necessarily, it's not going to just magically change. And you got to refresh it to see those changes. So when you're working with your pages and you're putting some on, making a change, every time you make a change, you want to see that change. You got to load a fresh copy. Hit that refresh button to see what you've been doing. All right. Let's back up a little. We talked about how you can make the designs. We talked about how we can put the designs on. Okay, so let's talk about the different kinds of designs. Agent site pages, right? So that's what we were just talking about now. That's what's going on when I'm clicking around here. I'm clicking around my agent site. These are the pages on my agent site. So this is an agent site page. Here are the locations. I can create a new page. It's going to ask me, do I want to create an agent site page or do I want to create a landing page? What's a landing page? The landing page is not, it's not an agent site page. Say agent site page again, right? Anyway, so a landing page is just a little standalone page. You can use it as sort of a one-off. If you just want to create a design that you want to have access to, you want to share with a bunch of people, you create this beautiful landing page saying or showing whatever it is that you need it to show, share it with a bunch of people. It's doing what it does. It's just a little standalone place that, anyone could find it if they magically knew the crazy internet address that you'll see that it produces. You type it in perfectly and you'll be able to find it, I guess. It would be very unlikely that somebody could just kind of find that page. You could search for it, I suppose. I'm sure there's ways that you could prove me wrong here, but the whole idea is it's not necessarily something that someone's going to be organically looking for. It's going to be something that you provide to them. You can provide this text, this clickable link that will take them to this landing page. So let's talk about that. Let's do as a landing page, create page. Taking this in. Now, the landing page is going to have different widgets. Each one of these boxes is a widget, which is just sort of like a preloaded template that draws from your marketing profile, which you've all filled out. So when you load one in, it's going to see your face and it's going to have your information because we all are tech-enabled agents and we want to get the most out of what we're doing. And why make a website if we're not going to use our pictures and contact information? What's the point? So you grab one of these, click it, and drag it over, and it'll bring over whatever that is, agent branding. And again, I'm having a hard time reading the screen, so I apologize. Some of y'all might see me with some brand new glasses. So, you know, you just kind of pick whichever one that's relevant to you. So let me see here. I'm having a hard time reading it. So listing is one. What if you put that up here? Okay, it didn't like that. There we go. So it loaded it in. And one thing that I think KW does really well, there's lots of things KW does really well, but one of the things that on that list is they make really beautiful marketing material. The stuff is really nicely laid out. It flips through things and the details and the features, and it's really nice. You know, it's immediately attractive, and they make it easier for you to use it. This isn't my listing, all right? So let's go to configure widgets. We're going to go to listing, and we're going to, well, as soon as I get control of my mouse again, browse listings. Look at this. These are the listings. It's all right here. I don't have to go to, you know, the internet and copy a picture and highlight some descriptions and get frustrated with the formatting. And you know, let's do it this way. Property address. Search by property address 123 Main Street. Go. What do we got? There we go. 123 Main Street. You know, if you know the KVLS, you can do it by property address, MLS number, KVLS ID. You know, if you know these ID numbers, you're more likely to get exactly what you're looking for. Property address, you know, there's a 123 Main Street probably in every city and every state and everywhere. There's probably a 123 Main Street in Antarctica somewhere. So let's pick this one from Austin. Select. And we're going to save and apply. Because again, your website doesn't take a change unless you refresh it. This one's not even live yet, but we have to save and apply for it to take on this part. 123 Main Street, Austin. Load it up. Let's scroll a little. I'm so sorry for my scrolling today. Apparently, my mouse is just not having it. Here we go. Get map, get your brand new footer, about this property. That's cool, man. It's $0 and it's active. That's not normal. So if you feel like you're having some trouble because you saw that I loaded up a widget that maybe wasn't quite right. And let's just scroll back to the top. All right, click that. You should be able to get rid of it, but you can see what I'm trying to illustrate here. And see this, if I try to move this thing over here, and then it makes another thing like that. And then it's saved for some reason, and I didn't. It's the only time the autosave function seems to want to work is when you don't want it to, because now it's saved and I don't want it to be. All right, so you get into a position like this, go back, start off. Let's see the way. Friday newsletter, signature, listing example. Let's create a new page. Landing, create page. Again, it's easy to bring a widget over. It's not worth fussing with it. If you want to move a picture a little bit to the left, don't do that. Leave it where it is. It's designed to just kind of happen. That's what we're going to do. Configure widgets. We're going to pick this listing. We're going to browse listings. We're going to put in 1, 2, 3. It's going to find the property that I'm looking for. I'm going to say 103. Oh, because I can't spell. Come on. Okay. And there's the one we look. Select. We're going to say from listing. Save up. My goodness, it is just not loading up the example for me today. Anyway, here's the point. We made a landing page. Something's going on with listings. I apologize for that. Once you have this, the way that you want it, you would publish it. But this one's not working, so let's do one that actually does. This time we're feeling, right? Blend page, create page. Put on. Oh, so much trouble seeing it. I just do it over here so I can actually see what I'm doing. So view, full screen. There we go. Market snap, that's the one I want. More confident. So it comes related with, what's that say, Burton Hills, Barton Hills. We're going to configure widgets. We're going to do new market snap. We're going to put out a header because neighborhood. Let's select the neighborhood. Right? Okay, so 27377. Right? Neighborhood. Let's find our neighborhood. Which one do we want to be? Southeast Greensboro, Summersby, Dow Acres. Let's go with that. Dow Acres. Save and apply. All right, so we've got this quick neighborhood snap. You can see the statistics. And there you have it. So you have something real quick there. So let's go on and publish it, right? Or you can save it and come back if you're not ready to publish it. And publish is saying like, okay, we're gonna put it on the internet for you. No, there's no slide projector concept here. It's just it's a page, it's out there, it's got a URL. This is that URL. So if I click it, I have this page. Big deal, right? Well, you can use that just like we were talking about with the designs because it has a web address like that. You can scoop it up and drop it wherever you want. Or you can just right click it if you're on top of the highlight. And say copy link address. And now you can drop that into a text document, an email, or you can email it to yourself, or you can put it on a web page for whatever reason if you wanted to for some reason. And what's going to happen is essentially someone will click it, it'll do this step for them and take them to this page. And they can navigate. They can see your statistics. Let's close that out. Close. That's a landing page. That's what we're doing about it. There's a bunch of different kinds of landing pages you can make. You saw all the different widgets. If you want to make, a neighborhood snap, or hopefully that listing tool will work a little bit better for you. If somebody's interested in that aspect of it, sit down and we'll figure out what I was doing wrong, maybe. You can put your virtual business card out there. If you make a beautiful business card and designs, you can put it on a landing page for people to navigate to, and they can see it that way. Or you can just share the address from designs, and people can poke that and see that as a little standalone thing. So there's a lot that you can do. The fact that all of these things have their own address like this really enables you to do cooler stuff. It's not just a picture, it's something that can be interacted with. It's not just a map, it's a map that you can scroll around. It's not just your email address, it's an email address that you can click and it'll open up a way for you to send an email and so on. So you can really kind of take the time to add links and add interactive capability to what you're doing, and then I'll actually go to the person that's trying to click through to it. So that's landing pages. So we know how to make a landing page now, which is not so different from making an agent site page. The only difference is that when you make an agent site page, in order to use it, you're going to have to put it on your nav bar in the steps that we talked about before. So let's create a new page. On my agent site, create page. Same idea. So here we are in the design tool. We can change the title of what you're doing here. So let's change that to new page example. And you've got these different widgets to pick from. They're slightly different widgets, so you can be kind of strategic in what different kind of page you're trying to create. Let's see. I really like agent profile. Like if I'm just looking for something general, I'm just making a page. I just want to transmit some information. That's the one that I wanted to. Now it didn't quite load right, so let's refresh that, see if it comes back. So let's bring it back. Sometimes you just gotta give him a second chance. There he is. Okay, so this is the one I like to work with the most. Now you see my picture is already here, my name is already here, my phone number is what it is, my email is what it is. Feel free to use any of that information. In my bio, this is all directly from my marketing. I didn't have to do any of that. So if all I wanted to do is just a contact me page, it's already done. I can save changes, move on. Thumbs up. Of course, I'm not the lead listing agent at Royal Realtors, so I'm going to want to at least change that. Let's go with configure widgets. Agent profile. Isn't pre-filled out because I should probably fill that out in my marketing profile. So it's just going to pre-fill out whatever the template says if there's nothing filled out. So my role is MCTT, and we're going to save and apply. And there it is. So I need to find that in my marketing profile and make sure that says market center tech trainer if there's a spot for that. Picture is straight from there, and you can kind of do a little trial and error. You know, where's this populate? You can see it there, but you can always put in a little, you can just write test, see what part of the widget it affects, and you can work it out that way. Now, the reason I really like the bio is if anybody's feeling like they want to get a little more creative with things, you can use this bio box really effectively. And I'll tell you a couple of reasons why. One, there's no character in it, so I can write a book in there. You know, if you have favorite children's book and you want to put it all in there, that's the place to do it. Won't fit up here because you only get 200 characters or 100 characters, and they'll yell at you and turn red, and it's obnoxious and whatever. So if you get rid of that and just type away whatever it is that you want to say, tell your story however you want. What's even cooler about this box is that it actually takes internet language, HTML language. You can embed things in it. So if you want to embed a video, you can do it here and still have your picture above it, your contact information below it. It's right in the middle of the page. It looks nice, as opposed to just putting in, you know, like the video embed is nice. It's big. It'll take over the whole page. So if all you want someone to see is just the video, use that widget. It's perfect. But if you're just trying to put in like a casual video or something like that, or if you want to put in a link to somewhere else, like I've done here, I've embedded these maps. And if you want to, there used to be videos here, but I took them down because I didn't want them to go stale. Contact me. This link right here. That's, you know, I had to do something special to get that to happen. If you click through it now, it takes you to KW Answers, which is where you want to go if you have a question, because it's a wonderful resource. So how I did that is I use that little box. So let's come up with an example that's not super painful. Let's go to YouTube here. All right. So let's say.
Hello there. This is Teresa Brooks, the head broker for Keller Williams Burlington, Hillsborough.
And all right. So I want to embed video, right? So let's say we want to see.
And Embed.
Pick a video. Let's see. Yeah, tech training. Tech training Monday.
Let's go 5 after. I think we'll get moving. Well, thanks for joining me, Tara. We've got Emily joining us in person here.
Okay, so let's say I love this video and I want to share it. We're going to go over here, and a lot of websites have this option. If you go to Google Maps, you find a little share button. Anything that's meant to be sort of shareable, we can make this easy for you. Click share, click embed. Start at wherever you want it to start if you're interested in that, or if you don't, it'll start from the beginning. Copy. Now I have this special code that makes absolutely no sense to me, except for that I know that if I put that code in a box that speaks that language, it will do something special for me. So I'm going to put it here in the agent bio. Boom. I'm going to save the changes. And now I have a video. That's what that does. If you ask me to tell you what that code says, I could probably look it up and figure it out, because there's lots of resources out there. But I'm going to leave that to the web page designers that know way more about websites than I do. Now, what I will point out is that this video is a little off center. So you look at stuff over here that says like height and width. You can just make it bigger until it fits. If you're just looking for an easy way to do that, just change the height and width. Make sure you're changing it proportionally. So increase it by 25%. So, multiply those numbers up by 25% each so that it doesn't get squished or something. Alternatively, you can find the HTML code for center and apply this to the middle of it. It's well beyond the scope of today's topic, but if you're interested in something like that, come find me. It's really not that scary. It's a bunch of copying and pasting and a little bit of trial and error. It shouldn't take too long to figure out if you're really committed to having something exactly the way it is, but you just like it to be centered. I can help you with that. Come find me. But anyway, you can embed just like that. I'm not going to spend the time centering it up because that's just sort of a tedious, and nobody came here to watch me center a black square. So we're going to save the changes. Yes. And now I have this new site that's going to save to my command. Okay, so it takes me right to what I was calling the projector. Agent site page is over here. I'm going to add a new page because I just created a new page, and it's like you probably want to use that. So let's bring it to new agent site. Click. Now it says new agent site. It's got some crazy letters and numbers. We're going to continue. Note a few things, like I was saying before. This just says new page. This is like the bunnies example. So I want this to say something. We're going to say that this is my YouTube YouTube tab. And you can change the slug, as they say. You can see this down here. It's changing. It's just sort of the tail end of your URL. So I want to change this to vid and make sure it has a dash vid. You can see that that changes now. So it slightly changes the thing. It doesn't like that I use the dash. So I'll just get rid of it. Vid. That's how that works. See a description if you want to describe what this is. It's expect vid page. Right, and that'll help people if they're searching around. It'll help them sort of find what you're trying to get them to find. So again, none of this will matter if I don't click save. Save. All right, let's go back to my website. We will go home. And it's very likely that I'm not going to see that tab here just yet because I didn't refresh a new version of this site. This is what caching cookies is all about. It's preloading stuff for me so it loads faster, right? So I have to hit a refresh in order to see my changes, and then it reloaded a fresh thing, and then that's going to be in it's a whole thing. But if anybody says, yeah, clear cache and cookies, this is kind of what they're getting at. I didn't see a link until I refreshed it. It could get so far along that it'll never refresh it because it's trying to load so many presettings. So wash them out. If someone says they're not just wasting your time, they're trying to sort of refresh how your browser views a website, and it could solve a lot more problems than you might think. I've been shocked. So YouTube new tech vid. We're on my site. Here's the video. We can play it.
Let's go find
Now
after
we're
I
watching
think we'll get moving.
of me
Well, thanks for joining me, Tara.
playing a video of
We've got
me
Emily joining
about
us in
tech.
in person here. I
teaching
can
tech
embarrass her by
video.
showing you the
That's
camera.
teaching tech on
let's-
video.
let's
This is
who's
starting to hurt my head. Let's pause it before we get to some kind of crazy inception thing. And we'll go up here and go home. So that's what we're doing. That's how you make a page. That's some of the things you can do with a page, and that's how you get a page up on your agent site. So I spent the majority of what we're talking about today on that because I think that's the majority of what people are interested in. We're talking about agent sites. Use those templates. Use the agent profile. If you want to get, creative with it, you want to add links or something. That's the easiest way to do it. Other than that, just bring in a widget. Let it be what it is. Don't try to get crazy with it. And just fill out the configure widgets and fill out the form, and you're gonna have a site that looks really nice. It's not the worst thing ever. I think it's a really nice site. I used it for a long time. The only reason I'm not using it anymore is because we have a KW Central website. It's got a whole bunch of resources on it. So I'm sort of tagging along on that now because it has a lot more to do with agent support. There's a lot more resource there. It's a lot better. But my site is still relevant, and I'm gonna keep it updated if I need to. And it's not hard to do. So let's close this. And let's close this up. I'm gonna get rid of this page. And now I'm back to what I'm used to. Okay, so a couple of things we want to touch on before we move on to the app and the Kelle app, and we'll talk about Guide Builder a little bit. We're starting to come up on the hour here, I guess. Theme. is, do you want your theme to be red or black? And we call it the red theme or the dark theme. I just switch it back and forth every time I have this class. It's only kind of sort of noticeable. You want it red, you want it black, just pick your color. And that's about all there is to it. Featured listings, if you've got listings that you want to make sure are front and center, you're using this website, you're funneling people towards it, they're definitely seeing this website. You know, if you're going to make a website and use it, then make sure you're using it the best you can. If you got any active listings, then you can select your listings here and you'll be able to see them on your website, you know, nice and easy. Give them a headline. So again, just follow the directions. I'm going to click the URL. It's probably going to lock up because my command is acting a little funny with this. I haven't taken the time to get it fixed. But when you click here, you will see the URL for how do you get to your agent site and the URL for how do you share your consumer app, which we're going to talk about next, is the phone app. So if you're looking to get started with that, scoop it up from this page, email it to yourself, click it, you know, but you want to use your version of the same stuff for the app. We'll talk about why in just a second. Let's see what happens. And yeah, it doesn't like it. My mouse isn't even working. All right, so give me a second on that. I think I'll have to close down. We're going to exit the page. As soon as I get mouse control. Exit. Yeah, see, it really doesn't. I really need to get that fixed. Command sign in. Everyone else, what you would see there is the URL to your website and your consumer app. Okay, we're back. So we're going to find our way back to the consumer tab. And it's going to take us into the pages. We were inside app settings. We were in this URLs tab, which I'm not going to click again, so I don't crash it out. But now we're on the generals tab, general settings. This is the top page of your agent site. Let me go back there for a second and show you what's up with that. So you'll notice that on this top page, it says this cool KW Central logo, and sometimes it's black, and if you wait long enough, it'll turn red. I don't know if we're gonna, there it goes. So the reason it's doing that is because it's going back and forth between these two pictures. You can have up to 5 different pictures. You can upload whatever pictures you want. You're gonna want to make sure that they are these dimensions on the pixels. So you can take them into a design program and get them to be that big, or, you know, there's a variety of ways that you can make it look good. It might just take a little trial and error. If you feel like you're struggling with that, or you're, you know, anxious about it, it's another reason to find me. You know, come find me, I'll help you make it look good. We'll make sure that it's exactly what you want. We can set it up the way that you like it, and it'll be that way forever. So it's just a little bit of work. Down on this page here, find your dream home. That's where it says it up here, your hero text. So you can change that to whatever it is that you want. You've got a slogan or tagline or something. Same thing with your app hero text. When somebody opens your app, you know, say something, whatever it is you like. If you want to add a virtual tour, you can select a listing there. That'll show up. There's some cool stuff. So let's look at this top page. I kind of bounced by this before. This is a search function that is really nice and streamlined. So if you're going to save a search somewhere and share it with somebody, I'd recommend going through your top page on your agent site. This is the one that looks the nicest. It's the easiest one to navigate. It's the most user-friendly. It's one that they put, I think, the most time into streamlining. Cool thing about it is, you know, let's pick this one. Straight in. One step too far. So I've got this search right here, 123 Main Street, somewhere. Where are we? I can't quite read it. Control C for copy, right? So if I grab that, I put it here. Control V, paste it in. It's not going to just take me to the search function. It's going to take me to the exact search that I popped in. The exact search. So if you're trying to show somebody an area, you know, this is a way that you can do it. It doesn't just take you to the search function, it takes you exactly what you searched for. Highlight that, let's say, oh, spells one UR. See, enter, now we're in Burlington. All the stuff that's happening in Burlington. If I want to put that somewhere, Control C, copy, I can drop it in an email, you know, I can do that fancy link like we talked about on Monday, I can make it link to that. It's going to take you exactly to the Burlington search. Now I'll get people running. This is kind of an area that's familiar. They can see everything that's going on. They can browse things right here. They can zoom the map in and out. See all the different places that, you know, they're more familiar with. What, you know, what are the, you know, what are these prices? So it's just a really powerful function I wanted to highlight. It's definitely, if you're going to share the search, use that for that function. That's kind of what it's designed to be about. So let's talk about the app. Again, you find that app here in the URL. If you wanted to get started with it, what you would have to do is learn more with Kelle guides. You're going to pick agent site and consumer settings. So we went through how to create an agent site, how to create all the pages. You know how to do it the manual way. In order to just kind of get started, so you have something to go on, you want to go to this, click agent site, and click continue. And it's sort of like a follow the bouncing ball sort of a concept, you know. So we're talking about the app, so let's do that one first. So this is how you get going. Continue. Okay, for me. And that's going to take you to a new screen. It's going to take you through the steps of setting up a consumer app. So just get started and follow all the prompts. You know, you can learn more about different steps if you want. Just kind of telling you about what it is, what you do with it. Next. And this little pipeline is going to get there as you go. So, you know, the app download, the hero text. It says I don't have a URL code. Again, that's, you know, sort of a shout out back to the issues that I was talking about before. So there is, you can copy that. And the detail that you want to pay attention to is that you want to share your app. If you're telling someone that we have a KW app and they go to the App Store and they download it, they're just going to get sort of a generic search tool, which is not the worst thing ever. But if you get them to download your app URL and they download it from that, then your app will have your picture, your contact information, your phone number. It'll have everything to do with you. And on top of that, as they interact with it, it will filter into their command, into your command. So when they're searching around, all their saved searches will populate to what's going on in command. So you'll be able to look at that contact, you know, maybe they're not a contact in your contacts list yet, you know, so someone named Mary that you just met, and you give them your app and they create a profile just like that. They go into your contacts, you'll get a notification about it, and they'll have a little timeline in there. We learned all about the timeline in the contact class. So when you go to that contact, click on that timeline, you'll be able to see what have they been searching for, what properties are they interested in, did they save any properties, are they working with you? That's a way they can communicate that to you. Are you know, if you're working with them actively, you can save a search for them to look at. It's a way for you to communicate with them that way. And you can see all of these different back and forths that they have. So I'm going to go ahead and bring up my app. I'll show you what I'm talking about here. Let's go back. And back. This mouse will be the end of my training. So here we go. All right. Contacts. It's okay to leave. I'm going to scroll down to me because I have downloaded my own app so that I can play with it. So I recommend that you do the same thing. You're going to need to do that anyway so you can share stuff. So here we go. Timeline. Subscribe to the thing earlier this week, right? So right now I'm in my app. For any of you that can see my phone here, I'm talking about the, where is it? Right there. The white and red one. The Kelle one is the blue one. Click that. Now I'm in a search function. There it is. Can you see it? Can't really see it. So on my app, what I'm going to do is I'm going to search for same thing we've been searching for all day. 1, 2, 3 Main Street, and click search. Search for homes, search for homes. There's one. All right, so I found this home. We're gonna say that I like it. So it gives me some options, right? You really have to download the app to see what I'm trying to show you here. It's not an easy way for me to share my phone app. I'm doing my best. I'm sorry it's all washed out, but it'll say like ask your agent on it. It'll say schedule a video tour. It's got your picture on it. It's, you know, got all that information about the house and square footage, and you can scroll around the map and the nearby schools and upcoming open houses and mortgage plans and pictures and all kinds of good stuff. The cool thing here is when you pick it, there is a little heart in the top corner. You can poke it. I'm going to save it to Jonathan's favorites, and I can write a note, you know, and here we go. I like this house. I use my voice to text, right? Save. Okay, so I just saved a thing. Let's see what happens next. So, give my thing in command, you know, being a widely successful agent, selling all the houses. I'm gonna refresh this, come back to my contacts, and I should see on my timeline that I've updated something. I've updated my collection. 25 Millbrook Road, Northeast Harbor. I just did that thing just now. Today's the 19th, right? Yep. Look at that. Those are all my save searches. You know, we can go over here. Let's see if it's saved into my notes. Let's see where the notes saves. Okay, so that's not the note. Let's go to timeline. I can see what it is this person has been looking at. They're interested in this. You know? So there it is. Okay, so I can get, okay, they want to see this house maybe. I don't know. It's a way to communicate. Close that up. I'll show this other thing. We're going to talk about save searches. I'm going to create a save search. Okay, we're going to search by location, neighborhood, zip code, whatever works for you. Let's do zip code. 27377. Right. You can put in all the different, you know, ways that you want to see it. Next. All right. Let's search by neighborhood. Why not? Find it on the map. Click. Control. Zoom in. Again, my zoom is really just not today. Let's try this. I'm sorry, I'm having sort of technical difficulties with my mouse scroll wheel today. Sure, let's go there. Okay, so let's click here. Back to the hall. Next, got it. Search time. You can send email notifications if you want. Go create save search. All right, so now they have this save search, so we can click and see what's going on. Now on the app, should be able to see what's going on. Close it, open it. So they can send you what they've been looking at. You can send them some stuff that you want them to look at. So it's going to save. Right there, I've got example popped up on my end now. So if I'm working with somebody, my information is in this app, your information is in this app. I save something, it goes to your command. You can save something on your command, and it goes specifically to them, not to all of the people that have your app, specifically to theirs. So there it is. And I got that search of stacks of halls is what I picked. So you can communicate back and forth. They're like, look at this property. You can be like, look at this area. Look at this property. You can guys just zap back and forth real quick. What do you like? that's what's going on with the app. So with the last minute of this session, we're going to talk a little bit about the Kelle app, which is going away, which is why I only talk about it for a minute. So let me close this up. So the Kelle app, you can download it. It's the little blue icon. It's no longer being supported because they developed it and then decided that what it was doing was silly and they're just going to make command mobile. So Kelle is still there. It still works as far as it was developed. There's aspects of it that go, and there's lots of aspects of it that don't. I will say it's worth having on your phone because it buzzes you every time there's a notification in command. So anytime that your command icon over here would come up a little red dot, trying to notify you, Kelle will buzz you and it'll let you know that there's something going on. Now, what it tells you, it's notifying you about, it might be accurate, it might not be accurate. They didn't fully develop that. I've seen it say some crazy things. So I've heard it called a command pager. I think that's accurate. And I don't think that that is useless. You know, so if you're looking to kind of stay in touch with the notifications in your command, that's probably the best way to do it because you're not walking around with an open laptop. You know, but your phone is always in your pocket and it will be like buzz, something happened, check your notifications next time you're in command. You go, all right, hey, thanks. That's great. Eventually Kelle's going to go away. We're going to get command mobile, which I'm being told will happen before the end of the year. And I'll be very excited to train on that. So it'll be a lot about what we learned this week, but it'll be in your pocket and we'll learn it together. Ordinarily, I'd have time for some Q&A or, you know, have someone who, and, you know, I could get them to download my app and go back and forth and test it that way. But, you know, I'm just recording for YouTube's sake right now. So if you have any questions, reach out to me with my contact information that you, of course, know how to find by now because it's at kwcentral.com, kwcentral.com, or a wonderful webpage. And you can go to agent resources and you can go to tech support and training and you can find all the information that you would need to get in touch with me or schedule an appointment or find an answer in some way. Okay. Thanks for joining me. And this is the end of Tech Training Week. I'll see you next month.